Saturday?
No, I'm gonna take a weekend to relax.
You're not being domesticated this quickly, are you?
No.
All right. Got a to-do list?
No, we've got some friends coming in town that don't. They've got young kids, so they wouldn't want to go, so we'll hang out here. You gonna go? Kids coming in town?
Two of the three will be here.
Where is, are you gonna make Wednesday?
I think so. We're going to
Bradley, send Commissioner Dickerson the Zoom.
Oxford and Tennessee, so
I
we'll get
sent it.
3 in a row.
Send it to him?
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
She was in, she
It'll be
left.
tough for an old man to recuperate.
I've always wanted to do Oxford. That's on the top of the list.
I've got a buddy whose sister lives out there, so they do all. We just show up and
That's,
How you doing today?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing fine so far.
Monday's almost over.
Yeah. Mine never is over. Our first meeting with the county attorney, I said, well, do we get to be off? He said, no, sir,
You did
24
training.
hours while you're in office.
Training.
oh, I know what it was.
As soon as we can get Dickerson and Hayes, or one of them, we're gonna get started.
They got vape. They got vape detectives at Glen Academy. Because they have a vaping problem. And they just turned them on today and they had over 200 incidents. And
Of
they,
what?
At Glen Academy, they have vape detectors all over the school now.
Oh, yeah?
So they get rid of view cameras. And if you get caught with a vape, you're 3 days home. If they have TCH in it, they expel. So we're gonna see how this works out. They had over 200. So what the principal just made the robocall. Better have a talk. They looking at cameras, they seen people going in and out the bathroom. Yeah, they get them all over the place.
No warnings, they just get expelled.
We're gonna see. This is Glen Academy. I don't want to see these. I want to see that
Yeah.
list.
Yeah, I wanna see.
Glen Academy must have changed a bunch since I was there.
Hey,
They
Yeah.
have been expelled a lot.
we're gonna see.
So Brunswick High doesn't have that?
I think they do too, yeah. But this is, yeah, Glen Academy just called all the parents. They
Well,
had 200 incidents today.
yeah, they ain't gonna stop that right
And
now.
they, yeah, we're gonna see.
Well, they used to let us, well, I
There
never
was cigarettes,
smoked
but yeah, you had the smoking
at the
section.
at the back of Brunswick High.
Yeah, had the smoking section.
You smoke all you want.
Get to bring your radio boom box, get the
Yeah.
lead campus, come back, go to McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they changed now.
Yeah. All right, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Commissioner Dickerson, I'm assuming he'll pop on the Zoom and get a chance. So we're gonna call this meeting to order, and this is the board meeting for the Brunswick Housing Authority for October the 28th, 2024. The time is 6:08, and we're gonna start out. I'll do the invocation. Let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for our community. We thank you for the residents here, Heavenly Father. We thank you for continuing to watch over us and protect us from any hurt, harm, or danger, from storms or anything else. We ask that you guide us in this meeting, Heavenly Father, that is all of you and none of us. We ask all these things in Christ's name. Amen. All right, I'll entertain motion for the approval of the agenda with any changes that may be needed.
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
Is there any changes? If not, is there a second?
A second.
We have a first and a second for the approval of the agenda as presented. All in favor, raise your right hand. Ms. Hayes, Mr. Dickerson, aye or nay?
Aye.
All right, thank you. That's approved. 1C, approval of the minutes from October meetings. Any changes or corrections from the minutes?
I move to approve the minutes from the October 9th work session and the October 9th executive session as presented.
Second.
We have a first and a second to approve the minutes as presented. All in favor, raise your right hand. Ms. Hayes, Ms. Dickerson, Mr. Dickerson?
Aye.
All right, minutes are approved. We'll go on to new business. Item A, Commissioner Hayes, your report.
So for President Capitol this month, we did our breast cancer awareness event. We had a board meeting and a work session. This patient is probably the same as last month. This month, we're gonna work to get to more doors and actually put flyers in hand and actually have conversations with the residents on, what's preventing them from coming and what would make them come. We have a work session coming up on 11/7. It's gonna be at 5 p.m. We're also gonna have a board meeting on 11/20. That's at 5 p.m. And we also will do our bingo night for that night as well. And then on 11/15, we're gonna do a gratitude board event where they all come out, residents will come out, and they'll create a vision board based off of what they're grateful for.
All right. Sounds like y'all are staying on the move. And commissioners, any questions for Ms. Hayes? If not, we just let us know what we can do, and we'll see if I can make that bingo night. Let me know. Ms. Curry, can you send out a reminder email for their meetings for the board?
You, sir.
All right.
The only other thing that I would mention or add is that we're looking into seeing if we could start meeting at the Jobs Plus building so that we can have more space for our activities. So I don't know if that's something we would talk to Jobs Plus people about or resident services, but just let us know. And then secondly, we have voted and approved for us to get our t-shirts done, and we should have those within a matter of a couple of weeks, and we'll be submitting an invoice to be sent over to Flexible Enterprise so that we can go ahead and secure the shirts.
I already talked with my team. We're on standby, just waiting to hear if they approved it so they can start meeting at Job Plus building.
Okay, you let her know.
Commissioner Hayes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I already talked with my team today, and I told them that was a possibility. So all we need is the dates, and we can go ahead and get you in there.
So I'll send you an email with our meeting dates and times.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Commissioner Cullen, did you have something you were?
I was just gonna ask, can we go, as a board members, can we go to their meetings without being invited expressly, right?
Right.
Yeah, so Ms. Hayes, if you want us to come to, if you want to extend invitations, we would accept them, but
Going forward, I will put in our group chat when our meetings are, especially the open ones and the bingo nights and the events. You guys are more than welcome to stop by, give us encouragement, any advice that you may have that maybe proof for us going forward. We're all ears.
great, thank you.
Okay, anything else? All right, nothing else, we'll move on to, 2B, approval of the write-offs for October. Ms. Smith, Mrs. Smith?
Hello.
Hi.
The write-off amount for this month is $19,018.47.
All right. Commissioners, any questions about this?
I think Commissioner Collins asked about it before, but do we have, or can you present us with something to show month over month, or?
So for the last 2 months, we've had, for August, we had the balance $16,147.39. And in September, it was $16,564.88. But that was the combination of all three. Yeah.
Yeah, if you can do like a Excel sheet with the different months on it, that we can see it.
Okay.
All right. You follow me? All right.
Just to see where it's going, rather it's staying the same, if it's getting lower, if it's getting higher,
Right.
that type of thing.
Okay, and we need to approve this.
Yes.
I know I should know by now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, entertain a motion.
I move to approve the pre-generation write-offs as presented.
And a second.
We have a first and second to approve the pre-generation write-offs as presented. All in favor, raise your right hand. Ms. Hayes, Mr. Dickerson,
Aye. Aye.
all right. That's done. Okay, September financial summary, Ms. Williams.
As requested last time, I included, September of 23 along with September of 24 for this year, so that you could do a comparison, see where we stand a year ago. These are the balances of our bank accounts as of September the 30th. What's due and from the general fund account. So that'll be your adjusted cash balances. We do have the CD, the 1.7 with Coastal Phoenix and the ICS. Those accounts have been updated with the interest, and then you have the condensed accounts receivables and the occupancy levels on the bottom.
Why this is this?
Okay, and the ICS is what again?
That's the cash sweep account that
Yes.
is split between different institutions. It's the new financial instrument that we got in April or May, is that right?
When
Something
did we
like
go
that.
out to the bank?
I shouldn't have put any time associated with that, I have no idea.
No, I think it was the end of the summer, or
Yeah.
towards the end of
It
the
was-
summer.
I think it was around June. I think it was in June that we did that.
Try to remember mine.
So, so what does ICS stand for?
It's on my desk.
All right,
It's a CD that allows you to get more than what the bank will offer.
right, I remember I was talking about it, I didn't.
And it has the flexibility where you can cash it out when you need it versus it has a 12, 18, 24 month period where it's locked.
Gotcha.
So it comes with slight risk, but it also comes with a lot of flexibility and higher interest rate.
Okay. The 1.7 is held by us through Coastal Phoenix, right? In the Coastal Phoenix name,
Yes.
the 1.7, all right, gotcha. All
So,
right.
insured cash sweep, I think.
All right,
Sounds
I'll
good.
buy it.
thank you.
So it looks like our cash position is down about $2 million from this time last year, but it also looks like, well, our bank account cash position down about 2 million, but a large portion of that is coming out of the $1.7 million that we took for the acquisition, and then our cash sweep account is up a bit. I guess if we take the LOU CD and roll that into the sweep account.
No, that was what we did, right? Those two, yeah, those two cities.
Okay, so we rolled those into one.
Right.
And then got it. That makes sense. And then we took the 1.7 out for the acquisition. So basically, we're balanced within a couple $100,000 against last year.
Right.
We also, does this include the NHC or no?
The what?
The cash account, does it include the NHC?
The NHC is on here.
Right. So it is included in the total then.
Okay.
Yes.
The other thing is the year before is when that $4 million out of investments was pulled down and it was just sitting and checking. So if you were to kind of look, it'd be like, wow, you guys are really spending. It was no, that money was invested and it was pulled down. It's just sitting there. So that would also account for why there might be a difference as well.
Yeah, 2023 is not the year we want to benchmark against, but it's good to see what's happening.
Okay, and we have a waiting list of 1124 for public housing. And the Section 8 is down to 273.
Yes.
Okay. Is that because we purged the people, they didn't meet the criteria? Why is that down?
Yes, sir, we did a purge right before
Okay.
opening the window in August.
Okay. And so we hadn't had that many requests, or is it closed now?
It's closed right now.
Oh, okay, I got you. All right. And our occupancy rate is at 94%? Okay.
Why did I think it was higher than that? No? Are you sure?
Sound about right now. Had to put out last week. Yeah, last week. 15 to 20 minutes last week.
So what's the difference between the LOU and the public housing? Is that the locally owned units?
Yes.
I answered my own question. Thank you. And Section 8 is so we have 86 vouchers, kind of just unassigned, or what does this mean? Vacant, I mean, it's not vacant units, it's just the vouchers.
We have 750 vouchers right now. We're using 664.
Okay.
On the tenant accounts receivable, I promise I can read. We're excluding the tenants with credit balances. What, is that an attempt to exclude what we're gonna probably write off?
I'm not really sure about that one. I'm not used to doing this, so I
Sure.
can find that out for you and get that news for you next time. I'll have to ask our fee accountant.
Sure. No hurry, I just,
I'm trying to see what you're asking.
on the tenant accounts receivable, the AMP 1, 2, and 3 total.
Even the critics are not.
We've got all that money that should be coming into us, and it looks like it's excluding
The debt.
amounts that are behind, so that we're not including stuff that we're never gonna get.
Yeah.
Which I think is a good thing, if that's actually what it is. That way we don't think we're getting 123,000 and only get 75,000.
Yeah, and this is for the month of September, right?
Yes, as of September 30th.
Okay, gotcha.
Cool. Thank you for the year review.
Any other questions? We have along the financial summary.
No.
Commissioner Hayes, Commissioner Dickerson, you all have any questions around the financial summary? I'm assuming you all have gotten a packet that was emailed.
No question at this time.
All right,
No question at this time.
all right. All right, we don't vote on this, right? Just a report. All right. Okay. We will get to the fun stuff. Mr. Baisden, update.
Good evening, everyone. I wanted to highlight and point out to the board that staff did a training last week that went from Tuesday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Of course, where at the conclusion they have an opportunity to take an exam and be certified. Again, it was one of the things that we all identified as an area we need to grow and improve in. It's one of many classes. This is just the first to come. And so that was one of the things that we started. We've been trying to work on this since before the summer, but we finally were able to find the right course, the fee we wanted, and to have it so that we could go ahead and close up shop and have staff come in, because it's important and key that staff are very competent and can exceed expectations in their job performance. And this is one of the tools that was lacking. It was articulated to me, and so it's something that we've started upon. That's the first of 8.
What was the training on? And
Rent calculations.
Rent calculation.
oh, okay. And everybody took it.
Public housing and Section 8.
Oh, okay.
Maintenance didn't need it.
Okay. That's what I was wondering. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Along that same line, there are 3 other areas of key concern, which really affect our internal operations. One would be an acronym for a software referred to by HUD as PIC. Here they track the errors that we accrue by inputting our data for them to be able to reflect how we're occupying our units. And so from 2022, we had a number of errors that was reflecting how our occupancy were looking. And so Ms. Smith, she has kind of taken the lead in this area along with the consultant, and we've been able to go through it and clear out quite a few errors. As a matter of fact, I spoke with our HUD rep the week before last, and she commented how for the first time she saw that we were, I think, under only 30 units left as far as occupancy occupancy that were not filled. And so that was, she wanted to tip her hat because she can see that we're actually starting to take control of these. The way it was structured previously was running through IT, and IT should not be in charge of or taking care of our errors in PIC or the 5/8. Again, another area that Ms. Smith has been working on. So these 2 key components, I guess to boil it down, it comes down to this. HUD funds us based on how many units we have occupied, right? So Mr. Williams and his team have been doing an excellent job of turning the turnarounds. Someone turning the keys, they go in, they do what they call a punch, which is to paint, to clean, have the unit turned over so it looks brand new for the next tenant. They've been able to reduce the time frame and have the units turned quickly so we can put tenants right back in it, which keeps our occupancy up, which goes to our funding. The problem is it doesn't matter how many units he turns, it doesn't matter how hard he works. If it's showing in HUD's system that we still have vacant units, even though we have a tenant in there, because the software that they monitor on is saying something different, it's all for naught. and we were running into that issue. And so, again, with the work of Ms. Smith and the consultants that she's identified has helped us tremendously. We are able to reduce our errors so that HUD can actually see what our true vacancy rate is, which goes to our funding. And they seem to be quite pleased with where we've come from to where we are and where we're going. And so I thought that was key for the board to know. The other thing, and again, this is the last internal issue, we spoke about it initially with HUD, about HUD and the shortfall that they were expecting us to have in December when it comes to our HCV vouchers, Section 8. And so with the calls and the work we've been doing with the fee accountant, it looks like what we've done is we've narrowed the issue down with the input of the data to 2023. Potentially somewhere between March and the summer. On this particular task, Ms. Douglas has been taking the lead. So between her, a HUD representative in DC, and our fee accountant, we've been able to narrow it down. Again, I was hoping this was something we could have identified and resolved by the end of October, but we still have a month. And so we're looking to, maybe have this thing identified to HUD so they can help us clear up the workbooks so we can come out of shortfalls, and therefore we'll have no funding issues with our vouchers. And again, hopefully by the 15th of November is what we're targeting now. And so again, this is just another example of internal controls. If the anomaly that they identified started occurring in 2022 back in the workbook, and of course at that time I wasn't here, Ms. Douglas was here, but not in the role she's in now. And so we're really kind of coming in trying to train the specialists who work under her to make sure we have this type of internal knowledge to kind of avoid these things going forward. So I thought those were three important key things that people kind of don't look at from the outside and think they're a big deal, but as far as how we operate under the guise of HUDs, they are key. And so we're making a stride and a difference to getting those points where we want them to be. Okay.
And it's more than one staff that can handle taking care of the errors.
Yes, right now it's primarily Ms. Smith. She has the tight grips. She's reluctant to kind of want to release some, but yeah, it's going to be key to have somebody working with her so it doesn't all fall on her, number one. And then number two, in case she needs time off, she needs to be away, someone can step in and be able to run the process as well. All right. Just an administrative issue. We had a Inspire inspection, which is the new HUD standard, on McIntyre Court. It was scheduled for October, but due to the storm, that had to be rescheduled. That's rescheduled for November the 8th. The good news is a lot of the shortcomings that may have popped up in the inspection, we've had time to go in and address them. And so at this point, we'll probably do a few more touch-ups before Friday the 8th of November. And I think we should do exceptionally well on this inspection. The only downside is that the inspection occurs on a Friday. Why is this a downside? Well, certain findings require 24-hour correction, which has to be uploaded into their portal. So I reached out to their technical staff and said, well, are you suggesting that we have our maintenance team do overtime because that 24 hours is Saturday? So they put me on hold to go check because they didn't know the answer. And so they came back and their response was the corrective matters require 24 hours and we cannot encourage you to have your staff work overtime. So basically they just didn't answer the question. So the staff will be there on Saturday to make sure that the 24 hours, if we can't get it done Friday or late Friday evening, but so that's coming up, and again, I think we're going to have a very good score, especially since we've gone through one of their inspections on 2 amps already. So that should be a feather in our cap. I just have another administrative matter. We signed the auditors, Henderson and Pillitteri. We started exchanging documents. They're going to be here on December the 2nd to start the internal audit. And based on the early discussions, it looks like they'll be able to wrap everything up before the end of the year, no later than the first part of January. So again, I wanted to keep you all abreast of that because this is a key component of our HUD requirement, being able to have a good audit, being able to identify issues and be transparent as far as how we're spending our funds. And so we accomplished that, so that was another thing I wanted to show we checked off. I think I have 2 matters left. The other matter is the locally owned units. Those units, as well as the properties on K Street, the rent has not been changed since, was it 2000 or 2022? I want to say 2000. Was it 21? They are substantially lower than market rate. And so what we did was we were able to go ahead and pull the documents from the HUD website regarding fair market value, as well as the fair market value here in the city of Brunswick and Greene County. We were able to raise our rents modestly, which are still substantially below what the market rate would be in this in the city and the county. We notified the tenants. To my understanding, there's been no outcry or uproar. I spoke with the senior last Friday, just walking the property, and she said she got her notice, but she was just grateful the fact that the lawn is taken care of. We're responsive to her work orders, and she's just grateful to have a place to stay. So that's what she had to say about the letter. And so again, one of the things I think we talked about as a group was our budget and the fact that we were over budget as far as our spending. There have been numerous contracts that we have removed, and one of the things that will help us have a balanced budget will also be where we have revenue that can be increased is going to be increased as well. Again, not to a level where it's going to have our residents complaining and being in an uproar. They were modest increases, and
do we know on average what percentage or an amount that they were increased by?
Was it 15% we did? 5?
No.
I think it was 15. It probably should have been 25, but again, we want to increase it, but not really try to cause an issue.
So what do we charge for these units? I guess it's another question.
$625.
No.
This year 2, right? This year current 2, right? 525, 625.
The single.
575 on 2. We should have
We have a letter that we
I
could
think
go pull the
the
letter.
three.
No, I just wanted an idea, and
I
also
think it's
for
roughly 15%.
For the
increase.
public to know that we were already way below market.
Yeah, three
so,
bedrooms.
The 1 bedroom, which is easy, was going for 500, right?
Okay.
And so then we bumped it up to
620.
600 even, or 625. 625. And singles, according to fair market value as well as the region,
That's
1,200.
Right.
So,
yeah,
so
yeah.
we're nowhere even close, and it's the same for the 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom. Everything was still far below, but it was just due. And again, trying to look at the bottom line of where we can make improvements. That was one of the areas. And it's a small improvement, but it's an improvement.
All right. Okay. All right. Commissioners, any questions around this?
No.
Or have you finished there? You got one more thing?
Those were the key points. The last thing I wanted to add on the update is we have been fortunate enough for the LaGrange Housing Authority. that I had an opportunity to meet with last August to talk about supporting some of our operations. They're certified through the DCA. I'm not going to give their credentials when they can do it better than I. But there are other mechanisms that they can offer that we can lean upon that sister authorities are helping one another with. I was talking to Columbus. I was talking to Augusta regarding their ability to provide us support when it comes to the DCA and handling tax credits. And they were interested, but because of the geographical location, they were willing to take a pass. LaGrange was not, they didn't see a geographical challenge that would prevent them from being able to assist us. And so their ED, Ms. Hurd, she and I had met before. We conversed and exchanged emails. And I sent her a list early in the month of when the board was going to be meeting, just so that she could, talk to her board and find out when would be a good time to come down. She wanted to meet my board. She wanted to talk about some of the services that her housing authority might be able to help us with and assist us here in Brunswick. And so, without further ado, Ms. Hurd? Yes, ma'am.
Well, good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Jaja Hurd, and I'm the CEO of the City of LaGrange Housing Authority. So, good evening, commissioners, staff, and ED Chris Basin. How is everybody?
Good.
Good. So, as Chris explained, we met some time ago, and we talked about some services that we could render depending on what your needs are, what you were going to need, what y'all are looking for. So we talked, and I kind of laid out some things about what we've done. So I've been the ED there for 10 years. I made 10 years. So I'm fortunate to bring staff with me. This is Miss Renee Morgan. She's the Director of Housing. So Miss Renee's been there over 20 years. This is Miss Harriet Hayes. She's our Director of Procurement and Maintenance. She's been there 15 years. So both these employees supersede me in what they do. They're well trained, well together, and they know. So when Chris and I was talking, he talked about property management. What do we do with that? And we've been fortunate enough to handle property management. We've been fortunate enough that we've built a portfolio that is unorthodox. We are probably not like a normal housing authority. We just don't do public housing. We decided to do RAD. Is everybody familiar with RAD?
Somewhat.
Somewhat.
We're learning.
Yeah,
about it.
these acronyms that HUD uses. So RAD, Rental Assistance Demonstration, that was a platform that they put out there. Some people may be familiar with like Hope 6 and some of those programs that they started with.
Right.
So RAD was another one. And it was a program that you could actually take public housing and you could turn it into these new units or develop them or renovate them, because housing authorities are not going to have the money or funding to be able to do that. So they set that platform up that you could form these public and private partnerships. So when I came along, they were trying to do that. But I felt like that wasn't the right time to do it, because guess what? Residents don't understand what RAD means. So what we're going to do is put something down people's throat again that they don't know about, they don't understand. We're going to decide what they need, and then we're going to build these beautiful things. And for me, I don't care how beautiful they are. If residents aren't together in what they need, why do we keep building beautiful things and they are suffering in the inside and they can't really come out and get the services? So I stopped our RAD program until we were able to get our residents to really understand. So I was fortunate enough to have these staff to teach me, because I've never worked in a housing authority before. Have I studied it in college? Yeah. But that was it. I did an internship in college. That was it at a housing authority. But I understand people, and I understand behaviors and what they need. So that's what we did. We went in, we did RAD. We had 420 public housing units. We were fortunate enough and we were qualified enough that we were able to get a 4% tax credit, 2 9% tax credit deals in the same year.
Wow.
So we actually took offline between 85, 70, 93 units. We took them offline. So now we only have 72 public housing units. So what did we do with that money we made? We went out into the community and we bought up other properties and we turned them into affordable housing. So we were able to build homes, brand new homes. We bought up apartment complexes that we now rent out at an affordable rate. We were able to do that. Even the public housing units that the residents were living in, once they moved to their new apartments, we requested for HUD to allow us to own those public housing units. So we got those units back, we gutted them out, and we turned them into affordable housing. So any of us can live in those apartments there. We gutted them out. Now, do they still look like our standard public housing? They do, but ours look good. We just got good curbside appeal. We have good landscaping, because you have to. We're located in an area where typically nobody cares that we're across the railroad tracks and how we look. But for me, that is everything. If I look good in my house, why can't my residents look good where they live? And they should. That's their home. It should be upkept. It should be done like that. That's what they pay us to do. So we've been fortunate to do that. So when we talked about property management, that's what we do. I think we do it well. I'd be willing to put us up against many housing authorities. The biggest they come, Houston, New York, and I don't think anybody does it better than we do. We found something that works. And I think that's what you have to do. And I think it comes from collaborating, having partnerships with people, talking to each other. What are y'all doing that's great? What are we doing that's great, to share it with you all so that you become great, your residents become great? Because at the end of the day, I don't live at the housing authority, but residents live there. So it's important they have beautiful homes in the inside. Like our new apartments, they're all granite countertops. They have Jack and Jill bathrooms. Everything's brand new there. We've renovated them. We put $82,000 into apartments that only had one bathroom. Now residents have 2 bathrooms. And that's unusual, because now if you have 2, if it's 4 of y'all, there's no way you can get dressed and get to school and y'all only have 1 bathroom in a house. So we've been fortunate enough to, what does the resident want? It's one thing for me to stand there and say, I want red. But what if you don't like red? So we allowed the resident to pick some colors, to pick some of the things they wanted in the home. Because remember, you don't live there and I don't either, so it wasn't fair for us to pick everything. Now, is everything, you get your choice? Some of it has to come out the cart. Because it's not going to meet, it's not going to close that gap. Like they wanted a fence, they wanted a gated community. Those things are very expensive. That was something a resident wanted. So we also have wonderful resident services. That's what we do. We have resident services. We have a leadership academy. We're an Envision Center going through HUD. And only 2 in Georgia, and that's LaGrange, Georgia, and Rome, Georgia. We're the only 2 that they have in Georgia. So all our resident services are there. We have our own transportation department. So we transport our residents, and we also transport outside the community, and we take people places to give us some revenue so that we can continue development. Because again, HUD's not just gonna open the floodgates. They're gonna give you what they want you to have, and they think you can do all these magical things with a very few dollars, and that typically does not happen. And how were we able to build? We took our developer fees and we put it back into building and making things better. That's what we did. We took those developer fees and we built. We bought up land. We're getting ready to develop a 20 units on 30 lots we purchased, and they're going to be spread all over the community. And of course, nobody's going to like that because they just think we're just putting residents in where, but they can live anywhere they want. And I just don't want them to challenge me on that. So you're not going to tell me we can't buy lots and our residents can't live there. So we're going to build these 20 units in a community that they've never been there before. We were awarded the $5.5 million grant from the governor's office. So that's what we're going to use that money for, to do that. And Senator Warnock, we wrote a grant to his office. We got $1.6 million. So we're going to build a quadruplex. It's only going to be 4, but they're going to be in areas that typically these things are not there in our community. But we're very proud of that. And we're not afraid to do it. You just got to do it, see what happens, and hey, we can do it. So that's a little bit. So y'all got any questions for me?
How do you do your development? Is that a arm of the housing authority, and who runs that?
We do. It's an arm of us, but we have a team. When we say a team, they're a part of that team because you have to have procurement. So we did have a maintenance guy that was construction. That's who built our 2 homes, but it is. Now we have a developer. It used to be Danish Development. We've used Vecino Development, but right now, hopefully we will become our own developer, and we don't need that person. So we had to throw them out. We keep all our monies. Now we don't share developer fees at all, but we're waiting on that approval from DCA to say we can become and develop our own properties.
And this is for the housing authority, even though you got a separate arm
This is for the housing authority.
Okay.
Mhm. Yep.
And how many staff is with that?
Total staff, 22.
Total staff is 22, but in that development, it's just the 5 of us.
So you said you all had a maintenance guy that was kind of the construction manager per se.
Mm-hmm.
And do y'all have in-house plumbers, electricians, or do y'all contract that out, subcontract
We
that out?
keep them in-house right now. The guy that retired, he's gonna retire. He was all of that, every certification. So now we have 2 maintenance guys, and they have some of those certifications, but not all of them. Yeah, but we want ours on staff. We don't want a third party. We don't want to do that. Now HVAC we do, because that guy was there. But HVAC, there's a third party company that we call to come out and fix our HVAC.
Okay.
But doing construction, yes, we do reach out to get subcontractors doing construction.
Okay. Wow. That's all I got to say.
Questions?
Commissioners.
Can I come in? Can you hear me?
I don't think we can stop you. Come on.
Well, man, I'm so excited I ain't gonna be able to go to sleep tonight. And if I was there, I'd give Mr. Basin a big hug and probably a kiss. Hey, listen, I don't have no questions. I just want to say it's such an honor and a privilege to meet you over this airway of communication through the internet. But as heard, I've been studying since I've been a commissioner. I've been a commissioner for a few years. You, besides me wanting to really impact my community and my housing authority that we are over there in Brunswick, your organization, which y'all have been able to accomplish, has truly inspired me as a commissioner. And I pray that we can really make this partnership work. I'm all the way in and partnering with you and your organization, and any way we can collaborate and bring the same system. I mean, just the fact of seeing residents become entrepreneurs, then they go on to become positive residents in their community. They're in the LaGrange area, and I really believe that LaGrange is like similarity to us here in Brunswick. I'm just so excited. I don't think I'm big. And I'm gonna stay on the commission board as long as I can. Oh man, I love this. That's just my comment. I don't have no questions. I basically know what you all do. I've been researching you. I've watched all the videos on YouTube, and I'm excited about this. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your staff time. And thank you, Mr. Basin, for making this partnership come together. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. I want to leave these with Mr. Basin, but this is a timeline that I've put together showing you how we went from where we are from the beginning to end. So I'll leave y'all with a timeline, enough for everybody, and some cute pens from the Housing Authority. So you can share them with the rest.
Let me ask you about your Leadership Academy, you said, and visioning. Can you say more about that? 'Cause that's...
So, of course, in public housing, when we had all the public housing units, one of the things that was concerned when I came on board was that we had a high rate of residents that were not working. So the rent was at 0, or they didn't have it. So I thought, well, that's not going to last long. Things change, time change. So I created a Leadership Academy where I asked my board to approve a policy that residents are required to work after 90 days of entering their apartment. So they passed it because I think it's essential to do that. But if a person has not worked or been in the work field for 5 to 10 years, we also don't want to set them up for failure. So what we did was created a Leadership Academy where you go through this Leadership Academy. It's 12 weeks and you take these classes. So it goes from job training, mentoring. They have to do a public service project. They took a college tour. They take a tour of Kia. We do mental health. We do budgeting. The banks come by. We teach them how to balance. We teach them how to save. We teach them how to invest. And these are instructors that come in and they do that Leadership Academy. So they're not working, but I want them to decide what they want to do. So the main thing is the job training. They do a career assessment and they assess their skills. So anybody can go out and get a job and pay bills at Burger King, but what about us that get to enjoy what we do? I go to work every day and I don't feel like I work because I love what I do. But I wanted my residents to have what they want to do. But give them that by putting the job training. So West Georgia Tech comes and they do the job training. So they can do pharmacy, they can do phlebotomy, CNA, hairdresser, and we take care of some of those things for them so that they can go through that course. And then after they're done, they have a full graduation. We get a speaker for them. We put them in a cap and gown so that they can graduate through that program and be on their way. Also, move out of the housing authority, become a homeowner, live somewhere else. They're not going to always. We want to use those public housing units for persons that really need that may be on a fixed income, where you get to get an income where one thing became expensive. You want your child to play on that soccer team that travels. That's an expense that, in order to do that, it may require some more funding. So we created that Leadership Academy to be able to do it. And once we did that, HUD found out and they did an Envision Center where they help us get computers. They help us get services that we need, people that will come and partner and mentor. And we applied for it and we became that Envision Center. And they came down and they cut the ribbon so that we would be that Envision Center. So inside of that Envision Center is where transportation is located. We have the after school program where our children come Monday through Thursday from 2:30 to 6:30 p.m. We have over 50 partnerships that come and they do different services because of course HUD doesn't fund it. They're going to give you the title, but they're not going to give you the money with it. So you have to find volunteers that come out and they volunteer and they come out and they do it like our trunk or treat. We're going to have it on Thursday. We didn't have to do anything. All the people in the community said they'd give us this, they'd give us that, they'll bring this. So the kids are going to get to have a good time. And basically it's because we form these partnerships that they're there. Our transportation, they take them wherever they go. We have a young lady, she did have a baby, but our transportation picks her up, takes the baby to daycare, takes her to high school so that she does not drop out of high school. So it's that, and we'll do any class basically that the residents want. It's just what we thought we put together. But if they think of something they want, and they do have to do a community service project. Because you're living somewhere and the rent is subsidized, I think you should give back. So they have to go out, they can do their own service project, but they have to go out, do a service project. The last one they did was took socks to a nursing home. So they have to come up with tons of socks and we put our socks in, the staff have to help participate, and they take the socks to the nursing home and make that donation. But if someone gives to you, we're teaching them they need to learn to give back to someone else in that way. Yes.
I don't know if I'm able to ask a question.
Go ahead.
First off, y'all are doing the Lord's work. I think that's incredible, the impact that y'all are having on the community. So kudos to y'all on that. Two questions. How long ago did you create the Leadership Academy? And are there any because I could imagine this is having a profound impact over multiple generations. Are there any performance metrics that you're able to share, since you all have started this? Are graduation rates up, or is employment down, or I'm just curious to know from my own knowledge.
Well, I think we started with 2015. I got in there right away. 2015, 2016, we got in there right away. So we've had, 4 classes. COVID came and it just took everything out. So we can share that we have our resident. She was my administrative assistant. She was a resident. She could not drive. She didn't have a high school diploma. So the guy who drove us here today, our transportation director, they taught her how to drive. She's bought 3 cars now. She's now an assistant property manager. Her daughter is a gifted student in high school. So she's one of our success stories. Then we have success stories. We had a young lady, she had not finished high school. She had 1 semester left, but she quit. She was the valedictorian. And we found her, but what she really wanted to do is be a chef. She didn't want to go to college. So we figured out how to get her graduated from high school so that she could go back to the technical school and get that done for her. We have one mom, we're still trying to get her house, but her son is going to be, we hope, professional boxer, but he's really, really good at it. But it's because of her income, she cannot afford to move anywhere else in our town based off what they pay her as a CNA. But she works, her children are successful, they're doing well. We don't have many high school students. I don't know why we have a lot of elementary students that we track and follow. But at our after school program, the kids, the school brings our children to us. The bus transports them, drops them off. So we're able to track them. So if you're not on, your progress is falling, the teacher can email our after school teachers, because we have that partnership, and tell them that you're failing in science. So we're going to have a science person come in to make sure you get back on track, to get back in science. The high school students that we have had all graduated. We have one that graduated from my alma mater, Tuskegee University. She's going to be a nurse. So she'll be a nurse soon, and we'll be able to have that stat to be able to show that. But we do track them. We find the success stories, and we are proud of that, because that's what it's all about.
Right. When you go on our website page, you will see some of the success stories where we were able to go back to some of them. One person became a dance instructor and opened up her own school. So you will see some of them that went through there, or some that were just residents and didn't go through the leadership class and wanted to come back to give their testimony. If you go on our website and there's somebody in here saying YouTube,
yeah,
because we got plenty of those videos out there as well too, that you can see some of the stories. We did have someone that was doing our marketing that would go back and do all the success stories and put them on YouTube, Facebook. You definitely follow us on Facebook.
Yep. Yep.
But I think we even have an Instagram. So
Okay. Check you out. God bless
Yes.
y'all. Keep that up.
The next leadership academy is November 4th. So we'll do it November the 4th, and I kick it off. I start it off, and then we have instructors that come in and they do the rest of the classes, or however we want to set them up. The main ones are economic empowerment, health and wellness, character, and leadership and education. So those 4 pillars we have to cover, and we make sure we cover in that leadership academy.
So we're, we got to work out, I guess, Chris, what we're going to partner with them on, or have you all already worked that out?
We're working on it.
Yeah, working on it. He's great. He came down. He already got a feel of everything. It's just a matter of putting together an MOU.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
So you guys started with, I said I could read earlier. Y'all started with 420 public housing units, and you're down to the 72?
72.
And how many
Total unit.
total units y'all have?
almost 500, including our private properties. So we only, out of the 420, it was just 4 that we did not put back. And we didn't put one of the buildings back, we demolished it for green space.
Okay.
So they have a garden, they have a picnic area that they can come and sit.
We have a park.
Yeah, they have a park. We collaborated with the city to do a linear park, so they have a park now right in front of their apartments. They can literally walk out their back door and get park.
Wow.
You know, and Callaway Foundation also.
And you're looking at 72, but what happened when you do the deals, the housing authorities cannot manage tax credit properties. That's not something HUD does, or the deal. So we were not able to manage the first 3 years, but we were fortunate enough, we did it in less than 3. We now manage all of our tax credit properties. So the management company is gone, and it's just us that are managing those properties. So we have those back right now.
So you all went through the process to certify yourselves to be able to-
We're all certified. They are certified. I don't calculate rent. I'm not good at math, so I leave that up to the people that do that. But we all took the test. Even myself took the test. So all of them are, and all the other staff are.
Okay.
Your license certification.
Right.
Which NAMK does inspect. I like NAMK, so that's one of my favorites. But you have other companies that do it, like, I don't know if y'all heard of Spectrum. They do it in this called a CP3, but the different companies give it a different title, but DCA will accept all of them.
So you've got the 75 units outside of the LIHTC that you manage.
Oh, yeah.
So it's the LIHTC, y'all manage your LIHTCs plus the 75.
Public housing, and plus the private units that we have and the apartments that we purchase.
Yeah.
But what about, have you all looked at the Choice Neighborhood Program?
We just applied and we were not awarded. This is our second time. You
Okay.
got to have some they're big, and I mean, I went and did the whole question. I made all of my complaints to them because I don't think it's fair because they give it to bigger housing authorities. So I don't think we should be in the same pool competing against Houston.
Gotcha.
Houston is going to have infrastructure that I don't have. So I think you need to break it up. If you're going to make a small, medium, and large, I need to compete with the medium housing authorities. I don't want to compete with Houston and New York and all of those and those bigger ones. Just put us in different pots. So I went out and did the questionnaire where they asked you to make those comments. So I did go out there and do
So did you get the planning? You was going for the planning?
Yes.
Did you partner with somebody, co-applicant?
The city of LaGrange. Mm-hmm.
Did they tell you any feedback from the first time? They give you any feedback?
Yeah, we have our feedback called November 6th.
I'm talking the first time y'all did it.
Yes, they did. And one of them, well, I don't pretend to say stuff. So the first time we applied, the mayor that we had, they would not write the letter. So if you don't get that letter from the city, you're out. So we lost those 2 points. It's not 3 or 4 points. You don't get those. So that just kicked us out because you're going to go to the bottom because they want you to partner with someone. So that little city councilman people, they just didn't like what we were doing. They didn't give us a letter.
Were y'all the lead applicant or the city was?
We were the lead applicant. The city was a co-applicant.
Because y'all do more community development than they did.
They did. And they don't want to be. They'd rather support you. But now we have a different administration, so it's all different. So it took us a matter of minutes to get a letter this time. Yeah. But you still got to have some really, really big partnerships, some really, really big infrastructure. So Houston got it. I know Houston.
They got both of them.
They got both of them. Right. So I mean, you got to have a lot of money to put up front as well. And our cities now they'll write that letter, but they may not give you those 1.2 million either because you want that to come with the letter. Yeah.
So you need the city to invest in the
yeah.
as well.
You want the city, probably most grants that HUD give you or anybody, they want your city to write that letter of support to say that they're going to do certain things and they just have to be able to. But basically, Chris is going to end up doing it because you're not going to do it, but you want them to write that letter of support. That's what you want.
And you're saying the infrastructure for the new development is the city could commit to that.
Oh, they could give you sidewalks, lights, like they gave us the money for the linear park. So we have a park and it's beautiful. You don't even know you're at the housing authority. Y'all should come see us and take it. You wouldn't even know you're there. We're getting ready to decorate for Christmas. I mean, you'll think you're in New York at Times Square, seriously. Because they built this beautiful park and they up to keep the park. All we do is the residents are able to use it. Yeah, but they'll do things like that, sidewalks, lighting, things like that. They'll do that. Yeah. Have a good relationship with your city council.
Yeah.
Or our county commission.
Yep. You do. Both count. Yep.
Yeah.
And our county gives us money, even though we're in the city. They've given us money before. So.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you
it's just money they got sitting around. They really need to give it away.
So you got a good reputation with the a partnership with the school system as well.
Oh yes, we do. We have an excellent partnership with the school system. The school system, basically whatever, because our children feed into those schools that are low performing.
Title
I. So they want the money. Yeah. So they want our children. They want all the black and brown children to go there. And if you want them, and if you're going to stay there and get the money, you're going to have to help us. Simple as that. You just cannot do that. You're going to have to make them successful.
Yeah, we're going through a rezoning now, so we'll see how that turns out.
Well, they've rezoned us, so we're good for now. But
how long is your wait list for folks wanting to get into?
We typically, right now, our waiting list is closed. We just closed it this month. Typically, we say 6 months to a year. The only one that usually goes over maybe 2 to 3 years is our one-bedroom list. That's people when they typically move in there. They're on a fixed income and they don't typically move out.
And how many people that are on that wait list? Ballpark.
Even with just public housing, you're looking at over maybe about 100 and anywhere from 150. And those are elderly, disabled, and then you do have other residents that are on there applicants that are on that too, but most of them usually are either elderly or.
And you all have
we
a
give
voucher?
preference for
Y'all
them.
do Section 8 too?
No, we don't have Section 8.
Y'all don't?
We just have that platform PBRA and PBB based off of you doing these tax credits. So we do have that platform, and it functions just like a Section 8 voucher.
It just
That's
stays with you.
project-based?
Project-based voucher.
They have Bosch.
No, we don't.
We know
So-
somebody that has one.
Yeah,
So
we know
another-
somebody in town has it. Yeah.
That's all
Another
that matters.
veterans, they do it.
Yeah.
We have Ms. Brownlee,
Sandra Brownlee,
Waypoint
wait for
handles those vouchers.
How many do they have?
I don't know. off the top of my head.
She was a
handles-
whole new building.
yeah. So she handles that. She was a veteran herself, and so she handles that. But we do also have home funds. I don't know if y'all ever heard of those home funds, but this only comes with 17 units. That was one of our first deals. The tax credits, like Ms. Hurd said, the PBR, which stays with the unit, it doesn't travel with the person. And those would be considered your guaranteed rents. You'll get your
Yeah.
guaranteed rents based off the
Right.
bedroom size.
So
Like your regular Section 8.
does the city have transportation, local transportation?
No, the county.
The county does?
Yeah, but we do their transportation.
Oh.
We partner with them. They wrote a grant to use cabs. So I went and met with them and asked them to let us do it, and they allowed us to do it. So we transport a person from drug court, drug accountability court. We do that on top of transporting our residents to get the revenue so that we can put money back into resident services. So we transport just about anybody from one end of our county to the other.
And you all do that on buses or in
We have a
cars?
fleet. So we have a handicap bus, we have a 22 passenger, just a regular vehicle, some SUVs that we do, and the guys go out. Like, he was just telling us today that they had 50 persons or children that needed to go to daycare. 50 of them. And ours is what, $2 or $2 one way? Because they'll let you get in for like 30 days, you start working, and you're gonna have to pay that fee. Basically, nothing is free.
Yeah.
Nothing's free.
And if there's some
That's
new work,
about
if
100
you pay
years.
the grocery
Still
store,
have plenty of back.
you just have to give a 3-day
The
notice.
city's working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
you just have to give a 3-day
We'll
notice.
see.
He said our city was working on it.
Yeah, the city has taken the lead, and they are actually applied for funding for public transportation. They're looking at how to operate it, whether to do regular small buses or using some kind of Uber system for some places. Yeah.
And
And we-
there's funding and transportation grants you all can apply for, that you can get the money. You probably are a little bigger than us, but they'll give some transportation monies now. So if you have any type of county situation, they will. You just have to have the population, but there's grants and monies, because we apply for transportation grants all the time. We apply for them through our grant writer who does that, but she finds them and we apply for them. But I'm sure your city probably gets those grants and you can apply with them.
Yeah, no, you got me thinking all kind of ways to we
Yeah.
can work this thing.
Yeah.
So,
You just gotta take away the excuses and do it. I mean, you keep applying till you get it, because we'll apply for the choice neighborhood again. One thing that I want to show you how interesting it is, have you all done any energy efficiency in any of your units?
We did.
A while back, it's been a few years.
Yeah. So we were fortunate enough to get a grant. We have a smart flower that powers our administrative building. So we wrote a grant,
what you call it?
a smart flower.
What is that?
It opens up based off where the sun is located, and it powers our administrative
So
building.
it's like a solar panel?
Solar, it's a solar. So we, whatever savings we get, we're gonna put it back in our resident services so kids can take field trips. They learned about green and solar power. They came and did a project there. We had a engineer to come and teach them how that smart flower works. So do interesting things like that, because HUD wants to see you do that so that you can get more money when you're actually doing that. But that smart flower just opens up in the morning to the direction of the sun. So wherever it is, that's how it powers it on, and we're able to see how we're having savings. And we were able to get solar panels and put them on two of the houses that we built, so that they have solar panels now that actually help power part of their house.
Yeah, my nonprofit is bringing in a group on the 18th of November to do Solar 101. I need you all to be there. And I'm going to ask them about this flower.
Yeah, get your smart flower. It costs about $10,000 and they'll deliver it on a flatbed, set it up. The kids even know how to power it on. And if it does not work, it powers itself down.
Okay.
If it gets tired, it powers itself down.
It opens up like a big old.
It's so good, like a big flower. And helps us power.
So is it on your roof or is it separate?
Sitting on the ground, on the slab.
Okay. That's all right.
So you have those kids that are gonna go in STEM. Now you have your future engineers because they're gonna study this.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get this going.
All right.
Do you need a vote from us or just a consensus?
Make sure everybody has enough. I have plenty. I'll give you more, Chris. Thank you so much.
Thank you all for
Thank
coming.
you.
Please send me a copy. Send me a copy, please.
We will. He's asking for a copy. Chris. Just a minute. Yeah, we'll send it on. Any other questions? If not, then Chris, are you finished with your update? Or you got anything else?
That was it.
Okay. Well, we'll entertain a motion to go in executive session for property, real estate, personnel, and litigation.
Oh, all right. I move that we exit the open meeting and enter executive session for the purposes of real estate, legal matters, and personnel.
All right, we have a first and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. On Zoom, aye.
Aye.
All right, we're in executive session. Thank you all. Cam, do you have a car? No, I'm talking to him.
Hey, how you doing, bro? I gotta let my husband say. You gotta get a husband gonna be like this. Oh my God. No, it's so unique. Auburn University. Yeah.
I mean, I really did. I know it's not.